Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm Shad Dales. Welcome into Trade to Black. Good week, to say the least. Lots of interesting stuff that we learn, including the Chief Medical Officer of Trulieve on the other day. That was an interesting podcast, to say the least. So we learned a lot pertaining to that. So what's the main reason what we're talking about here today? We want to talk about, Riv Capital and Cansortium's merger. What does this mean, and why did this deal have to come to put together? Put together and make sense for Cansortium as a company and its shareholders. So we'll dive into that with Anthony on what he thinks of this merger and what the big takeaway is. As well, big news involving Governor DeSantis and possibly vetoing a potential hemp bill and what that all means for the space in the Florida market. So let's welcome in TDR co-host Anthony Varrell. Good morning. Good to see you. How are things?
How's it going? It's good. This is it's early. This feels different than
I know. My intro,
usual,
I feel like I was
usual.
just tripping over my feet. I was just kind of butchering that. Need a
Yeah,
coffee to wake myself up.
it's been a busy week though. I was thinking about it this morning. I mean, we had Canopy earnings, we had Acreage earnings, we had Slang earnings, we had Trulieve in Ohio. We've got this ludicrous DeSantis article.
I know.
DEA potentially saying that October is going to be the mark.
That's interesting.
It's been a busy week. We haven't had to hang on every tick on the price action to get some entertainment this week.
Well, I think the big takeaway for you and I, and probably to our audience this week, is that we can sit here and kind of wait and talk about Washington and rescheduling. Those are topics that we're still going to discuss from time to time. However, I thought Wednesday's podcast and learning some new things from the Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Michael Sodergren from Curaleaf International, was incredible. But just continue to dive in deep through our network to find out some stories that builds the momentum for this industry and a lot of the stuff that's going on, which, let's face it, there's never a dull moment in this industry. And whether there's litigations, mergers and acquisitions, business combinations, stuff from politicians, there's always lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, and to further that conversation with Dr. Sodergren, we're actually going to have Steve Moore on, I think, next week or the week after, who's one of the founders of the organization executing the cannabinoid research in the UK. So we're going to focus on that for a little bit longer.
Yeah, let you everyone know too. We have Anthony. You've reached out to some of the executives management team at Cansortium to get their take on this announcement yesterday as well. Christopher Brady, not a bad idea. Maybe it's something that we do in the next week or two, but we'd like to see TDR do a show and focus on the public comments, highlight some notable comments, highlight some of the company post campaigns, give an editorial, that sort of stuff. 100%.
We're up to 8,000. As of this morning, I checked actually before the show. I think it's like 7,980 something. So then we got 52 days left.
Are we open
in
to
the comment period?
Like similar to golf and having a mulligan? Are we allowed to have a second guess on the amount? Can I change mine or no?
No. No. I don't even think we're going to hit my 22,000, to be honest.
Yeah, well, you said it. Fast out of the gate, but things will slow down in a hurry. Well, as I said, you've reached out to Cansortium's executive team. So let's start with that into the wire and talk a lot about this news from yesterday involving, as I said, Florida company Cansortium Holdings, along with acquisition investment firm Riv Capital, that announced a business merger. So first off, Cansortium, as we know, Florida company known for its Fluent brand in Florida and Riv for Etain brand in New York. What do you think of this announcement? I know that you were scratching your head in a few areas pertaining to this.
So, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, Riv Capital, I don't want to call it a distressed asset, but I mean, it's not an impressive asset by any means. They have the Etain asset in New York. They also have the Hawthorne exposure within it. I mean, I think Hawthorne was down 28% year over year in revenue. I mean, Riv Capital reported earnings yesterday, concurrent with this announcement. They did $2.1 million in revenue for the quarter.
What's that tell you?
But at the main thing here and the main takeaway, I mean, I think time will tell how big of an impact this will have on both companies. But the main concern with Cansortium was their balance sheet, and that concern has now it's gone. They now have the combined entity is $70 million in cash. I think Cansortium now only has $5 million in net debt as a result of the merger.
Yeah.
Scott's Grow is now going to be, they're changing into that exchangeable share structure, which looks like it's starting to get popular within the cannabis space. So, I mean, you could see them as potentially a strategic for Cansortium moving forward. But I mean, this is heavy dilution. I mean, Cansortium shareholders come away with 51% of the deal.
I know.
Capital shareholders come away with 49% of the deal. Cansortium also reported earnings yesterday, concurrently with the announcement. They did, I think, 25.2 million in top line. So I mean, they're at $100 million annual run rate right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
If adult use passes in Florida and we activate it in May, they could go to a $200 million a year run rate in the state of Florida. They also have Texas. They also have Pennsylvania. They're calling this an MSO, but I mean, really, it's a single state operator with the exception of a few retail locations outside of the state of Florida. I'm going to be watching closely to see how this is received in the price action today, and then I'll be watching moving forward. But I got out of Cansortium at like 22 cents.
Yeah.
I still haven't got back into the stock. So we'll see how it goes.
What's it trading at recently?
I mean, Cansortium's trading at 16 cents, 17.1 cents as of yesterday.
Did it hit? It was up over 20 cents recently?
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Absolutely. It was, I think the high end, it was like 24 cents.
Yeah, I see that right now. So if you're a Riv Capital shareholder, are you happy with this?
I don't know if the term happy and Riv Capital shareholder go hand in hand whatsoever, to be honest. I mean, it's been a I don't want to call it a dumpster fire, but I mean, they grossly overpaid for that Etain asset. New York has been a mess. Riv Capital, I think, trades at a market cap of around 15 million. Yeah. 18 million right now. It was up 30% yesterday. This is good for Riv Capital shareholders. And I mean, like I said, it's going to be a show me story.
Goes to show the power to leverage of having money in the bank. I think that's what it comes down to.
There's a lot of questions to be answered here. Yeah. I need to actually edit one of my tweets real quick. Damn it, I can't.
Well,
I was advised to tag Ron DeSantis in the hemp ban.
You want to do that right now?
I can't actually. I can't edit it. I'll have to.
You want to do it on your phone?
Out one way or another. No. I literally can't do it. Too much time has elapsed. Yeah.
Well, yeah. At the end of the day, I think just money in the bank obviously is the most important thing when it comes to negotiating leveraging. But like you said, you had a company that was strapped for cash and knew how to operate, and then you had Riv Capital that basically was burning a lot of cash. Like you said, paid a lot of money for a lot of underappreciating assets, and most importantly, though, they had what, $65 million. I
think the main takeaway, or the main headline that I'm reading from this is they keep mentioning that they're going to leverage the cash that's in the deal now for strategic growth.
Yeah.
So I would assume you're going to see Cansortium start to build out its footprint to a greater degree in the state of Florida ahead of adult use. And then they're probably going to go deeper in Pennsylvania as well, because I mean, why not, with that adult use conversion potentially on the horizon.
Yeah. Happy Burner, good to see you. Good morning. Thanks for the heads up. Yes, always quoting stock prices, or share prices, I should say, in USD.
Well, the high was 29 cents. Is that Canadian or US?
That'd be 29 cents. I'd assume Canadian.
Yeah, I never quote stocks in CAD. So
yeah. All right, into the wire. Friday morning, host Shad Dales along with Anthony Varrell, looking for a nice, man, the weather is nice this time of year. I'm sure it's nice and happy where you're at. Those Florida Panthers are one win away from the Stanley Cup Finals.
It is. It's a swamp where I'm at.
Oh, I can only imagine. Into the wire, headline number 2. Let's now shift to Ohio, and involving Trulieve, who settled a litigation with Harvest of Ohio, which now triples their footprint in Ohio, which is set to go live within the next 30 to 45 days. Timing is everything, but glad to see that this litigation has been settled, and onwards and upwards is, like I said, Ohio's appeared to go live, something that obviously is very important for Kim and her team.
Yeah, this is great. Trulieve tripled their footprint in Ohio, settling this. It was a very opportune time to settle this as adult use is on the horizon, and hopefully we're about a month out. These are assets that were acquired in the Harvest acquisition. I know that they were mired in this lawsuit for some time, but I mean, this is great to see. This is just another adult use conversion state that you can add to Trulieve's footprint. Ohio is going to be a focal point here going into Q3 and Q4.
100%.
I think the Ohio story is what the Maryland story was last year when it turned on. I mean, the one thing that is leaving a lot of people asking questions is the infrastructure built out enough in the state to supply the adult use market? Now, I'm not talking exclusively with Trulieve's assets. I'm talking about everybody as a whole. Because when you look at square footage in Canopy, I know the Ohio licenses were limiting to an extent to what an operator can grow. I know that some of them got around that with double stack, triple stack canopies within the building, increasing their overall verticality of the grows. But we'll see. I mean, I think demand's going to be high. I mean, I think that we also have talked to several people that have said people will probably still go over to Michigan to buy product due to the pricing in the Michigan market versus Ohio, as the prices will probably be high, as we've seen.
Why would the prices be higher in Ohio versus Michigan? You want to explain that?
Yeah, because you see markets normalize. I mean, prices are usually pretty high when adult use converts, and then you start to see price compression paired with competition, and prices usually come down and normalize to an extent. We've seen it in Ohio, Michigan. We've seen it in Illinois. We've seen it in tons of markets.
Yeah. How much do you think, as you said, like they're still going to see a lot of people travel over to the state of Michigan, but how much do you think that state sees the effect of Ohio going live, knowing that it's currently the second largest cannabis market right now in the U.S.?
I mean, the good thing is we'll be able to find out in real time. I mean, I think Michigan's doing about $270 some odd million a month in sales right now. I keep a close eye on Michigan on their monthly sales. So, I mean, I wouldn't expect to see probably anything track until maybe month 2 or 3.
Yeah.
As far as penetrating the numbers, but I can't think it's going to be too big.
Yeah.
Of a dip in Michigan's overall sales.
Christopher Brady, yes, wearing the hoodie. It's thin. It's not that hot, but my wife does like it 67 degrees in this house with the air conditioning. So it does get a little chilly as I sit here in the TDR studio, but all is well. Oh, she likes it chilly. She likes it chilly.
Your electric bill must be pretty damn high.
What is it outside this morning? It's about 72 degrees where I'm at right now. Nice and sunny. This is the perfect time of year. 30 days from now, it gets hot and humid, but late May, early June, and then late September, early October is it's incredible. But good time of year, that's for sure. The days, I don't know if you saw last night, but I only got dark till about 9:30. It's long days now.
It's been getting dark. Yeah, it's been getting dark way later here. It was like 8:15 the other night, and the sun was still out.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the hell was going on.
Yeah. Into the wire, Friday morning, 9 a.m. Shad Dales here with Anthony Varrell. Thanks for joining in. If you haven't done so already, we launched initiation coverage on Trulieve this week. If you want to get the full details on what we think and whether it's a buy or not, then log on to thedalesreport.com and subscribe to the Baked In newsletter. A lot of you have been doing that this week. We're seeing a big growth in the overall newsletter this week, which has been great. But we got a big name MSOs that we're initiating coverage on within the next week or 2 weeks. So if you want to stay on top, go ahead.
We also launched GTI and Curaleaf. So we now have Trulieve, GTI, and Curaleaf all live on the website.
Nice.
Yep.
Subscribe, leave comments below, and we'll make sure that we don't want to say this go viral. We don't want people to be on codeine as per what's his name from Twitter the other day, but whatever. I will stay off that term moving forward. Into the wire, now into number 3, and it involves a rumor that's floating around that's making rescheduling more of a reality prior to the election. So with that, let's bring in, it's Friday. Guy that's been following this story online, Guap. Happy
Hello.
Friday morning. How are you, sir?
Doing well. This is going to be cool. Markets are going to open while we're live streaming.
Maybe we should start.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start doing Friday mornings at 9 a.m. I don't mind it.
We should just stream all day, tick for tick, of MSOS so we can track everyone's emotional state.
Yeah, we have a social graph that just 9:30 to 10:30, and then it's gone.
Yeah, right.
HL is a virus I don't mind catching. Too funny, Guap. Jungle Java, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. How are things? Well, listen, I said off the top, it's a story that you've been following closely online right now. It's providing some hope as to why you think that rescheduling could indeed happen prior to the election. You found some information. I think a lot of people have been talking about it regarding a DEA official who outlined, I guess, maybe something around the comment period being like a 60-day window that they want to wrap this up, which is a lot quicker than what most people are anticipating. So what can you, I guess, what have you learned from following this story this week? And again, how there's some hope or optimism that we could see rescheduling official before the election.
Right. As I tweeted before, my sources suspect that in the days ahead, more drastic rumors are soon imminent.
Yeah.
Just to bring all those keywords together. Yeah, this is a solid one. So it sort of made the cut here. It's from the Marijuana Herald, so take it with a grain of salt. But they were right before. Their same DEA source, and they confirmed that this guy or woman definitely works at the DEA. Correctly predicted the sort of last catalyst. So that's when my ears perked up a little bit more. So the comment period, which I'll be talking a bit more in the mic drop at the end of the show, ends July 22nd. So that's when the DA analyzes all the comments and publishes the final rule. That final rule review process can take a huge range of time. But what the DA official reported to the source is that Attorney General Garland instructed the DEA to publish their final rule within 60 days of that date, July 22nd date. So they actually said the DA is on track to reschedule marijuana by the end of the summer. So we're talking about 60 days after July 22nd would be August, now September 22nd, which does put it in line with what everyone was predicting in terms of maximizing votes and headlines right before the election. So that's it's worth noting, and it definitely increased my percentage chances of this all getting wrapped up by the election.
I think the encouraging thing when we've opened up this comment section, we were probably a little nervous to thinking, is this going to be absolute chaos and how many comments and this is going to get blown out of proportion? But I have found that, yes, there's over 8,000 comments. Would you guys best describe this as, yes, it's a lot of comments, but it's very quietly gone about its way so far? And I don't want to say it's been a pleasant surprise, but do you think, to your point, the way this is kind of unfolding, that it seems to be more and more of a reality that indeed we get an official rescheduling announcement prior to the election? Either one of you go ahead and comment on that if you want.
I definitely think we get one. I think it's for sure going to happen before the election.
I do
think
too.
If you're looking at anything, Garland and Biden basically slapped down the DEA and were like, guys, we're getting this done whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Garland's going to get it done. I mean, the comment period, I didn't expect fireworks or anything like crazy to go off. I would expect to see lawsuits or some sort of legal challenge here after the comment period, which I would be willing to bet Sam is going to file a lawsuit and others probably will as well. Those will be the headlines that really cause fireworks, which they really probably won't have any relevancy to them. As I mean, we've seen Sam's talking points. We continue to see them just speaking with throwing data and any sort of critical thinking to the wind. But no, I mean, I do agree with Guap. I think that this is probably pretty much correct. I'll probably be reaching out to the same sources that told me about the OLC memo and then the day that it was going to drop in the register to find out what the actual timeline looks like, and then probably take it from there.
Well, I think, I don't even want to bring up safe banking, but if rescheduling is announced prior to the election, what does that do for this industry? Does it do much of anything?
I'm done. I'm turning off my camera.
All right.
He said safe. That's my safe word.
I know. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.
All right. That was a good show, guys.
I think it is, to be honest, I think it has no bearing on safe banking.
No, I know. I don't want to go down that road, but what I want to know is that if this becomes...
We're going down it. We're driving down it right now.
I know. So
let's let the cat out of the bag.
Back now.
Let's just pull over just a second. I'll grab bottle of water, have a nice little drink. But when rescheduling is, let's say, official, what does this do for the industry? Because all these rumors did nothing, based on investors right now. Yes,
you should be a
280.
politician. You should be a politician, Shad. You just walked that back beautifully. You really should.
Oh man.
280E going away should help.
I
probably.
realize 280E goes away, but once this becomes official, same thing happen, you guys think? Like, based on Biden?
In all seriousness, I think you're right with your initial assumption. Rescheduling, I do think catalyzes safe. I think rescheduling starts to get in people's minds and like actually opens them up to the legitimacy of cannabis. And now this really isn't going anywhere. It's just going to keep moving forward. I think you're definitely right in your assumption that we could see it give momentum to safe if and when rescheduling is concrete. And it definitely makes research easier, which is why we had Dr. Sodergren on, and which is why we want to have some of the other gentlemen on as it relates to cannabinoid research, as that conversation is going to go into hyperdrive once rescheduling actually happens, because the gloves actually do come off as it relates to research.
Robert Griffiths, I love you, buddy. A vote for you, Shad. Christopher Brady, I would totally vote for Shad as well. Guys, honestly, give me the script. I can make shit shine in front of a podium, but go ahead, Guap.
Yeah.
I good point by Gord in the comments that I failed to mention. Yeah, all indications are that we should get a memo from Garland coinciding with that final ruling. So if it goes into law, let's say end of August, sometime in September, it's definitely by the end of September, according to this source, you're going to see a memo. And that's really what gets me excited, because we don't really know what all's going to be in that and what that could clear up. I mean, could that be the catalyst that gets exchanges comfortable with uplisting? Could that be the catalyst that gets banks comfortable with custodying these stocks? I mean, it could clear up a lot of things in terms of who is not going to get prosecuted should they deal with cannabis businesses. That's what it's going to clear up. So I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what that says.
Jungle Java, 100% I'm with you. I think that without SAFER or a new Colt memo that can allow Finn and guidance to be rewritten, then upside moves will be muted because we need custody.
Yep.
Absolutely. You got a big fan, Muhammad Shahin. Anthony is the GOAT. I called the Mavs winning the NBA championship back in the first round.
So he did. He did.
Did he really?
And yeah, he did. And I'm hoping that he's right, because I would love to see the Mavs smoke the Celtics. There's no one I hate more than Boston.
Are they going to torch?
Yes.
Are they going to torch Kyrie? Are they going to torch him?
Oh yeah, but there's going to be nothing better than to see Kyrie win a championship on Boston's floor, if that happens.
Yeah. Who are you going for?
Me?
This guy?
I'm going for Dallas.
I'm gonna go Celtics, because I'm from the Boston area and I want to piss off Anthony. I'm not an NBA fan, big Red Sox fan, but yeah, Celtics all the way, Anthony.
I absolutely hate Boston. I hate Boston more than anything.
The town, or all the sports teams, or everyone in it? I mean, are we talking about the entire area?
The town's great. The town
awesome. Is great. Dude, last June when I was down there with Barry, I was down there for a day and a half.
Walk it back, guys. Walk it back.
But the Patriots, the Bruins, the Celtics, I hate them all. Red Sox, I don't mind.
But
I'm a Packers fan. I don't.
What a town to be in though in the summertime. When I was down last year, this last road, it's a 2-lane road, takes you down to Cape Cod, and what a location that Merrimack has in one of their dispensaries. But oh my God, so gorgeous along the ocean there. Like it's a good time of year. I can't imagine I've never been to Fenway, but that would be awesome.
Really shitty fans and really shitty sports teams. I will never in my life forget. And this, I know we're going way off topic, but I will never
seriously,
forget.
Red Sox, I could do a show on this.
No, I will never forget this. I was at a Panthers game when I was probably like 12 or 13. We're playing the Boston Bruins, and Peter Worrell gets in a fight, and these Bruins fans that were behind me start shouting racial slurs at him and calling him all sorts of names I'm not going to bring up on the someone turned around and started talking shit to them, and they threw a beer on the guy.
So
and then all chaos.
who are the most cutthroat sports fans in the U.S.? Is it Philadelphia
Philly.
or
Philadelphia
Boston?
Eagles. They have a jail. They have a brig in their stadium.
Philly's
for
nuts.
for
Joe
unruly
Griesler,
fans.
Philly's the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll never forget in the mid-90s when Michael Irvin of the Cowboys, career-ending spinal injury. He's fine, but they had to take his face mask off, and he was like strapped on a stretcher. And when they were wheeling him underneath, there were fans throwing garbage at him.
I mean, if you really want to see lunatic fans that'll beat you up for no reason, go to an FSU-UM college football game.
Sure.
And if it's a Miami home game and FSU wins, they're just fighting random people walking out of the stadium.
Wow.
It's
burn cars
and
either way.
Yeah, they're definitely burning the boats.
Different show, guys. Different show. Remember,
Yeah.
I think Anthony's just avoiding talking about this DeSantis thing. I think that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Well, I'll leave a story the other day, but I used to ring announce an MMA promotion in Dublin, Ireland.
Ooh,
that's an interesting time.
Hooligans.
Yeah, soccer hooligans are a completely different breed.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On that note, let's bring up our last thing. It involves Governor Ron DeSantis, who rumor has it is wanting to move forward towards vetoing a hemp bill, which was reported by CBS Miami. So at the same time, as they said, Governor DeSantis has come out against a constitutional amendment to legalize marijuana in Florida. He's likely to throw an unexpected lifeline to the hemp industry by vetoing a bill that would regulate and limit the sale of cannabis products such as Delta 9, according to 4 sources familiar with the discussion inside the governor's office. How credible do you think this is, Anthony?
So I was pretty infuriated when I read it the first time around, and then I actually thought about it and read some of the quotes. I mean, according to those familiar with his thinking, DeSantis is counting on the hemp industry to finance the campaign against Amendment 3. Something like my enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, you have to understand what DeSantis's talking points are as it relates to cannabis. If you're talking about public consumption, if you're talking about shielding minors from cannabis, and if you're talking about the general overall smell, there is no fucking way that you can be for hemp and against cannabis.
100%.
People are doing the same thing. If anything, hemp is more accessible to minors. Hemp is being smoked probably a lot of the time versus traditional cannabis in public. And it's untested and unregulated for the most part when you're talking about derivatives products. Every single argument that DeSantis made against adult use is inherent in hemp. Vetoing that bill makes absolutely no sense.
Christopher Brady, that's a hell of a comment. DeSantis took the short bus to Tallahassee.
I just think he's got the wrong read on this. He's getting bad briefings from staffers or something. I mean, I just think his stance on this makes no sense. We were on the show praising what Florida was doing. It seemed like a lot of common sense. Allow the low dose beverages to continue, ban everything else. I know bans don't work and all of that. And I hear the prohibitionist in me when I say ban THC 0, but really just because I want there to be a safe, regulated market. I want people to have access to medicine and recreational cannabis. I will honestly, even if this goes through, like even if he vetoes this bill for whatever reason, people of Florida are going to decide whether or not there's going to be recreational cannabis. And if there is, and I really do think that's likely, all this D8 stuff's going to go away naturally anyway. So it becomes a moot point at that point. But this one baffled me, and I don't know
if he vetoes this bill, he does not have a single leg to stand on to argue against cannabis in an open public forum.
Right.
0. Like nothing. It destroys his complete argument.
I hate the smell of cannabis, but I really like the smell of D8 vape carts.
Pre-rolls. I mean, you can go buy hemp pre-rolls in a gas station. Yeah.
And they've been smoking that THCA your whole life.
Those stink. Dank Informer, happy Friday morning. Republicans love cannabis as long as it's sold under the hemp label. Big hemp lobbying power is real. I think you got a
It's
very
very
valid
true. I
point.
mean, you want to talk about big pharma, big alcohol, and big whoever the hell else that's against the cannabis industry. To be honest, our biggest enemy might be big hemp.
Big
I
ag.
mean, they are a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yeah,
That
Dank Informer.
the more we go down this road as it relates to Florida and as it relates to overall rescheduling, I mean, that they might be our biggest enemy.
Yeah.
Just hiding in plain sight.
Yeah, the Dank Informer later writes, the hemp industry is larger than the state legal cannabis industry. It is also unregulated, most times not tested for various safety markers. Example, heavy metals, pesticides, bacteria. Yep, you're right there.
Yelling into the void about that for years. And it's hard to get your voice heard because I'm in a prohibitionist state of North Carolina where these vape shops are everywhere and these products are everywhere. Everyone in the state legal industry, or you're talking from California, it doesn't seem like a credible threat. It's just sort of like, oh, that's that hemp stuff, and very dismissive of it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it's huge, and they're not paying 280E, and they're not testing their products, yada yada. So I'm glad that this issue is coming to light with this farm bill stuff, but no one knows when that farm bill is actually going to get passed. And so this loophole could be open for a while.
Well, check this out. Quote, it's been flying under the radar, but he's going to veto, said one official who, like others interviewed for this story, requested that their name not be used for fear of angering the governor. That is fucking beautiful.
What is he, the fucking emperor from Star Wars?
Yeah, it's probably a 19-year-old freelance writer that was hired by CBS Miami because it's a local affiliate, and CBS, what's the one thing? I don't even know. Is there local news on CBS in Miami at 6 o'clock still?
There is.
That's going to be cut, in the next year or two because nobody watches that anymore. And that is the reality behind the closed doors. What can you write that's trending that can provide clicks to stay relevant? And that is about as funny as that it gets.
Yeah, we'll see.
A third source who supports the hemp bill is frustrated by the governor's possible maneuvering, noted, I don't know how you can be against recreational marijuana and be in support of hemp. It doesn't make sense. Unless what you are really looking for is money from the hemp industry.
We need to stop calling it intoxicating hemp and just call it recreational hemp. I mean, that's really what it is. 100%.
Huberman writes, guys, would you mind to answer my CGC question? Was there a question?
I haven't seen any CGC questions.
If you guys scroll up, he's dropping nice donations on the show here. What do you call that page?
We'll see his profitability be diminished. CGC USA numbers can't be consolidated into CGC's financial statements. Hold on. Will CGC's profitability
please keep it simple because I'm sure
can't be consolidated.
V-Gates humor, man.
I don't know if the profitability would be diminished as those numbers, whether they're consolidated or not. I mean, they're eventually going to go into the same P&L, but that's all pending. It's all pending regulatory reform. It's definitely not going to diminish their profitability. And I mean, being frank, I mean, Canopy's overall profitability is still something that they're working on quarter over quarter and year over year that they've made strides towards. But I don't think that the consolidation of the numbers is technically going to impact that directly.
Gotcha.
They'll boost the numbers. I mean, once you're able to get the Wanna Jetty and acreage numbers consolidated, it'll boost things like overall gross margin, and it'll boost top and bottom line revenue. As I mean, the margin in the United States, David Klein said this yesterday on the interview. I mean, they're operating at, I think, around a 35% margin in the United States from a gross margin perspective. MSOs are operating at anywhere between, let's say, a 48 and a 58% gross margin in the United States. So, I mean, you could see margin expansion with consolidated numbers.
Yep. If you haven't done so already, make sure to check out that interview that we did with David Klein. We launched that actually yesterday, premiere at 4 o'clock. But I thought it was a rather interesting interview. We've had some discussions with him in the past. He's been pretty transparent with us last few months about how change needs to happen and a lot of things have been put in place, but a big difference, obviously, in their cash burn, but no material debt that's going to be due until March of 2026. So a company that's on a senior exchange that appears to be a favorite amongst retail investors. Do you sense that the story or just the sentiment of this company, Anthony, is shifting from where it was even as little as
so? I think I think it's a mixed bag. I mean, I think that there's a lot of allegations out there from a short perspective, from a capital markets perspective, and just the overall history of the company that people can't get past. But I mean, you can't deny that. I mean, David's righted the ship over the past couple of quarters to like year and a half. They've right-sized the business. They're focused on profitability with their international business, with the Canadian business. Canopy USA is materializing. Yes, there have been a couple of private placements that people have called into question due to the nature of who they were financing. But at the same time, like Canopy's a turnaround story. I mean, and like I've said multiple times, I don't understand why people focus on certain stocks and just choose to like hate on them nonstop. There's plenty of companies that I don't like. You know what I do? I don't focus on them. If I don't have them in my portfolio or I don't want to invest in them on a go forward basis, I don't have the time in my day to fucking care about them. Like if you don't like Canopy and you don't think it's investable, don't focus your time and energy there. Just move on. You're not going to allocate money to you. It means nothing. And I mean, I just don't get why some people are just net negative all the time on certain names. Just doesn't make sense to me. But yes, I do think the Canopy's going in the absolute right direction compared to where they were about a year ago. And David's in partly very much so responsible for getting that ship going in the right direction.
That's why people like you keep the shit real. Don't get caught up in the
I don't get it. I have so many people that follow me on Twitter that just like write bullshit on everything I post.
Jesus, Chris Concert Corner. Fuck, buddy. Come on, brother. Chill out. Fuck.
I've never seen that guy in here, so he can
never even heard him. I thought it was a great take.
Yeah.
All right, that wraps up Into the Wire here on a Friday morning. I like this 9 a.m. start. Get your day off the right foot.
We're a little loopy.
Yeah, we are a little loopy. I need my coffee. Yeah. I'm tripping over words here this morning. Guap, good to see you, my friend. Always love Fridays. You know that the work week is finally over. Now it's time for the greatest segment of the week. It's time for Mic Drops with Guap. Arns, cue the music.
Oh, boy.
Arns?
Right on cue.
Anyone.
There
he is. I'm a sighting.
Everything I read.
I feel like I'm like on a
3 coming.
There you go, brother. Sorry, interrupted.
Was taking over the world. All right. So I want to talk about this comment period. We brought it up earlier. The deadline is July 22nd. And so far there are 8,500 plus comments. Headset, which does some great analysis, state by state, consumption method, form factor kind of analysis. They did some analysis on the comments themselves. Why are you guys giggling?
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at the comments.
What in the?
Oh yeah, no problem. Yeah, if you could turn the music down.
Christopher Brady's our official hype man.
I'll give beard tips in a minute.
I distracted you, Guap. I'm sorry.
It's okay. The music is distracting me a little bit, but
bring the audio levels down.
Yeah, just a little.
All right. Hold on. We just finished a round of boxing.
Okay, so let me get through this, guys. Sit down. Before we talk Boston sports. Hang on. So they did some analysis. This is only through the 29th, so it's a little dated, but 97% of the comments are positive, which is unbelievable. And I read a bunch of them. There's a template that, and I'm going to tweet after the show where to go to actually leave your comment. That's the call to action I want people to do, is to have your voice heard. Be a part of this comment period. So I'll provide a link. I'll also provide a template that a lawyer has put together with 4 paragraphs of very convincing material, science-backed stuff. But I'd also like to read a couple of the comments that were pretty amusing. Someone wrote, "Listen, I know about the government cheese cave in Wisconsin. I propose a similar project with cannabis to keep my 1 gram to the pre-prohibition era street prices of $10 per gram."
Okay.
Also, this is cannabis.
Right.
The Chewbacca defense. Chewbacca is a Wookiee that lives on the planet Kashyyyk. Now, why would he want to live on Endor with a bunch of Ewoks? That does not make sense.
Makes no sense.
Am I saying that right, Anthony? Kashyyyk?
Yeah, that's the Wookiee defense.
Yeah, the Wookiee defense.
That's from the Johnny Cochran episode of South Park.
Got it. And then someone and credit to Cy Scott for finding these. I didn't have time to click all 8,000, so I'm pulling it from his article. I was gonna make a comment here, but then I got high. There's so much I want to say, but then I got high. I have no opinion on this, and I know why, because I got high. So he rewrote the song. Anyway, the real takeaway here is it's overwhelmingly positive. We don't know how many comments there are going to be. The deadline is July 22nd. Stop whining on Twitter. Post a comment. I'll have the Dales Report account tweet out how to do that and some suggested wording if you need it.
Nice. Good stuff, Guap. Appreciate that. Skip Squallman, greatest name in showbiz. Good morning.
Love
Dropping the mic early in the day. Gets the weekend started on time. Focus on Guap. Trying to write a comment for DEA, but getting distracted with the TDR morning show. Skip, always good to hear from you, my friend. All right, gents, that was good. Good stuff this week. I think I think this is a week.
The market's mildly green.
Is it?
Yeah.
Green as a Celtics uniform.
Green as a Celtics uniform.
I'm just trying to trigger Anthony again with the Boston stuff.
Oh man, Christopher Brady. What in the
We can't talk about sports. That's what Chris's concert corner didn't come here to listen to.
He's pissed.
So we gotta stay on tune with whatever he wants to listen to.
All right.
So no more sports content.
Tune in next week to the Chris Concert Corner Report.
I'm a douchebag and we can't talk about sports. So anything else, Chris?
Oh.
All right. Have a good weekend, douchebags.
Yeah.
Got it, arms.
You guys like this 9 a.m. stuff?
No.
Kind of. Not really.
All right.
I got a lot going on. I got fucking Henry live tweeting the show. I got my screen over here.
Oh God.
Yeah. A lot going on right now at 9:30.
Foil on Shad, DeSantis versus Morgan. I do like this Mr. Morgan that's going to be involved in this. That is a big move for amendment number 3. He'll be a big component to that based on the stuff that I've read this week and learned and some of the stuff you've been telling me, Anthony. But that is a big win for the recreational adult use market in Florida.
Yeah, huge.
Well, we're
going to get 3 done, whether DeSantis likes it or not.
Yep. All right, gents. Time to head into the weekend. And I am off to take my lovely 11-year-old daughter who turns 11 tomorrow on her birthday. She is going to the dentist. And we're going to be there all day. World. Yeah. No.
Keep us posted with live tweets, Shen.
What's that?
Keep us posted with live tweets.
Probably not when it comes to my daughter, but anything else.
Let's get HL on this.
Right. All right. Yes.
We should do that.
What's that?
You know what we should do? We should start reading comments from the Federal Register. And is it Henry or not Henry?
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I got to come up with a new outro, but folks, as usual, please leave comments below, smash that like button, and if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our channel and share this video with your network. All right. We all appreciate you watching. Have a great weekend. Gents, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday, MSO Monday, with Mr. Dan Aarons at 4 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Viral.
And the booth.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching our latest podcast. Lots of momentum building. You guys getting all excited? Leave comments below. Again, we want to take this viral. Smash that like button and make sure to click on that bell for all notifications as we start to bring on bigger and bigger guests. Don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletter, the Baked In newsletter, by logging on to thedalesreport.com. And we want to take this viral, as I said, and make this community grow. So make sure to subscribe on that channel because we wouldn't be here without you. Thanks again, everyone, for watching.